It's amazing how this works, but it does work. So I've just used my phone to turn on the camera, and I need to talk about it because I'm like new to it. So I've done that. I want to talk about common sense. Gloss white, high coat, $5.99 in the UK a couple of years ago. Fast drying gloss white paint. Absolutely lovely. Goes on no problem. Do it in thin layers and build it up and you get a perfect result. And I've ended up using this on my quadrants. I didn't want to use gloss. I didn't want to use something that would smell and be toxic, and car coming. I'm sitting outside hiding. There's a tree truck, a pickup with a tree chipping machine on the back. So I painted my quadrants with a primer, 2 coats, and then I got an acrylic gloss over the top. And because I'm me, blue car, because I'm me, it took a long time. So this process has been going on for almost a fortnight, trying to complete the quadrants so I can close the gaps between the floor of cork that I put down on top of the concrete of the place that I moved into, and the quadrants are between the cork flooring and the skirting boards, closing that expansion gap. So because I'm me, it's taken a longer time than it would for someone who isn't me. And I wanted to do it as sympathetically as possible, and it took even longer. And all of that work resulted in quadrants that they had a like pinkish pearly shimmer to them, and you could still see the knots through the layers that I'd put on. And I was so given up, like it just felt too hard. Now for people who are well and capable and strong and fit and healthy and have no physiological or mental health challenges, this statement will come across as, you know, just a load of drama. And for people who are not all of that, but actually have influences on their capacity to initiate, maintain and complete tasks, that'll make that statement will make perfect sense, that I could give up after putting 3 layers on 1 room worth of quadrant, which is just a tiny little wood thing that you've got to stick in the gap. So this has been really hard for me, and I've had to like repeatedly, come on, it's a process that has multiple parts. You have to do them one by one. It's a step-by-step thing. You start, you carry on stepping, and eventually you take the last step. But that didn't work. Or it did, but it just very, very slowly. So, common sense. Why did I hold up that can? Because in the end I decided, gloss white, it's only one can of gloss white, toxic paint, it's not going to make that much of a difference, you know. And on the larger scale of things, how much difference does it make for one person to use 1 can of toxic gloss spray? When I'd done it, I was like, oh thank God, it's white, effortlessly, and it's white. And that was it. It was the effort and the work involved, the repetitive steps, the time, the labour. None of it was insurmountable, but I had to take it in tiny little bites, because I mean, silver car, think that's the neighbour coming back. On the scale of things, one person using one can, no biggie, no biggie. But common sense begs us to look at the bigger picture. One person using one can, it's getting noisy. The forces of nature are countering the message. Not nature, consciousness. Don't tell us what we don't want to hear. It's like, it's time to hear it. It's important. It's time to hear it. We have to make changes, and even though we don't want to make changes, even though changes are feeling like, oh God, it's pushed upon us, we don't want it. No, it's time to make changes. I'm looking at my device because I'm not seeing the screen that shows me that I'm still recording, but the upside down image on the phone, on the camera, says I am. So I'll just keep going. Common sense tells us that one person and one can is no biggie. But think about it. Where did that one can come from? What did it take to make that one can? Think about all the holes dug in the earth. A sort of metallic, shimmery, deep green with elements of blue. Car. Think about the holes dug to get the metal out of the earth to make the can. Think of the chemicals synthesized and put together with the oil dug out of the earth to make the plastic, to make the cap and the little spray nozzle. Think about everything that is put together inside to make that spray itself. What is that spray? What gases and liquids and substances get used to make the spray itself? And now think about into the air, and every minuscule molecule of that one can going into the air and jumping on national grid. The work truck. That's a really big green tractor. And a blue pickup with a canopy on the back, shiny, sparkly. Think about those little molecules which are now in gaseous form jumping into the atmosphere and jumping on the back of I didn't explain that right. If you think of oxygen and you think of what's inside the oxygen that we breathe, it's not just oxygen, it's a mix of different gases, but oxygen is high. And then you think, okay, so you've got the perfect mix to sustain life, and then you start adding stuff, and it mixes with the oxygen in a way that isn't helpful to life, and it makes us ill. One person, one can, no biggie. Billions of people, billions of cans, big biggie. Just one item, one can of white gloss spray. How many people on the planet are using one single can of white gloss spray? And that's just one item that is being added into an element on the planet that all life on the planet needs. And it's like, yeah, but what do you do then? Oh my God, you know. Common sense, you know. I felt overwhelmed with a very simple task that I should have managed quite easily, but I didn't, because I am me, and that's what happens for me. And instead of asking friends for help, I reached for a quick solution that, in a small way, but nevertheless, added to decreasing the quality of air that is there for all life on the planet. These are very uncomfortable thoughts, and it is not possible for us to make life changes on the planet if we won't even think them. So, uncomfortable as it is, let's try open to willingness to look at. I'm not saying act on, simply look at what is really going on, and what's our part in it. It's only when we do that there's even the faintest chance that we become capable, it becomes possible of doing something else. I think this might be the last car for y'all. Black sort of, what do you call those? It's like an estate car, but a modern one, rounded. Right. So, today's chat. It's very easy to make it easy for ourselves at the cost of all life on the planet, hey? And you don't have to have a shit fit about it. Oh my God, she's saying horrible things. Hey, that's a friend of mine. Jamie, yo bro. He just went down the... I wonder if he's on his way to Longwood. Anyway, okay. Common sense. Let's be willing to open to looking. It's like, why do so many people feel like they can't, it's not possible for them to make any changes, that they just can't even go there? And it's like, the answer partially is we're not in the habit of even looking. So, word for the day is eyes open. Yeah? There's changes coming that won't suit us, and we can still make changes to make the unsuitable more suitable for us. It doesn't mean we go back to the Middle Ages. It means we become willing to move at a slower pace of life, doing a lot less and doing a lot more with a lot less, and taking time and doing labor instead of using our physical bodies instead of machines. We can still have everything we want, just differently. The model of get someone else to make it for you at cost to everything, it's not a good one. The model of do it yourself, take time, work with your hands, with your body, appreciate the effort, stand back and go, I did that. That's the model we're aiming for, and that is completely achievable for all of us. So, common sense. I'm going to finish my cold coffee and bid you good day. Om Namaste, you all. Okay.